Literacy in the disciplines. Writing in engineering. Why is it important to write well? What do you need to write? How can you write it better? What problems do students face with their writing? This video introduces the web-based materials to help engineering students with their writing.
Engineers need to communicate with other engineers, with professionals in other fields, with clients, and with the public. It is very important for our engineering students to develop a good foundation of proficiency in communication. However, many students, both local and international, always find it difficult when they're doing the academic writing, especially when they encounter the specific language features, discourse practices, and unfamiliar genres associated with the engineering discipline. The resource packs we provide in the literacy project are the result of the joint effort of the colleagues from the engineering departments and the English language centers of the Hong Kong Polytechnic University and City University of Hong Kong. These packs include interactive language activities for students' independent learning of the academic writing involved in short answers, lab reports, progress reports, final reports, and the final year project reports, as well as genre guides and checklists for students, and genre analysis for teachers. We hope you will find these resources useful, and your feedback is always welcome. Thank you.
As language teachers, we don't always know what our students do outside of the language classroom. So first of all, I talk to discipline teachers. I approached a few disciplines, a few departments, and I was lucky to receive positive responses from a few teachers. So these teachers have been really invaluable. They agreed to talk to me, they agreed to discuss things with me, they agreed to look at my materials. In addition, they provided me with sample tasks and sample student responses. These have been really useful for understanding what really goes into students' writing. And I analyzed these pieces of writing. I took the analysis back to the teachers, discussed the analysis with them, and based on this analysis, developed some materials for students. Now, while I was discussing materials and my approach with the teachers, my understanding with the teachers, I also consulted professional literature in our field on what students write in engineering. So these three sources of information have been really invaluable for me. Engineering students in Hong Kong probably write more than we ever imagined before. To begin with, engineering teachers often set up questions that students have to answer in writing. So short answers is one important genre for engineering students. In these short answers, students have to show that they're learning the theories, the concepts, the approaches that they need to learn. They also need to show that they're developing the skills that are needed for engineering communication. Now, in addition to short answers, engineering students also have to do lots of projects, as we all know. So students write lab reports and various kinds of project reports. Projects are also done in a process approach. So that means they often have to write a proposal. They also have to write progress report. And finally, there is the final year project. In some universities, this is called a capstone project, and students have to write a capstone project report as well. I think engineering students face quite a few challenges. To begin with, they need to understand why they're writing. And together with that, they need to understand the role of that piece of writing within a bigger context of their studies. So, for instance, they need to understand that short answers are there to test their growing knowledge. And to be able to do these answers well, they need to rely on textbooks, on other materials provided to them by their teachers. What we hear from our teachers is that students often do not go beyond PowerPoint slides prepared to them by their teachers. So that's a major challenge. They're not able to elaborate on the concepts that they're learning about, and that's a major task. In addition, or related to that, is the notion of conciseness. So teachers are saying that students are not able to elaborate, but at the same time, they write long passages. But they have to be concise, which means they need to present as much information as they can in as few words as possible. And that has to do with technical vocabulary. It has to do with different types of sentences. It has to do with using synonyms and other aspects of language. So I think there are quite a few challenges our students are facing. Absolutely. I think this project has allowed me to see beyond the language classroom and understand so many other things about our engineering students and what they have to write in their disciplines. And very seldom, if ever, do they really have to write an essay. Beyond the essay, it's not just the project reports. There are so many other types of writing which are less visible. For example, short answers once again. And I believe now, based on this project, that it's through this less visible writing that our students are developing their understanding of the discipline, as well as developing the skills they need to communicate effectively in these disciplines. So yes, absolutely, this project has been really invaluable in helping me expand my understanding of engineering writing.
The writing task our students need to do in our discipline is short answers, writing lab reports, writing progress reports, writing final reports, and in their final year, writing their final year project reports. The purpose of these writing tasks is to communicate what they've learned to their peers and to their supervisors. For example, the writing task also depends on which year they're in. For example, in the second year, they will be communicating very basic knowledge. In the third year, they'll be communicating what they've designed, while in their final year, they'll be communicating not just what they've designed, but also any new ideas that they've learned, and they are supposed to be able to communicate to both their peers and their supervisors.
The main purpose is for the subject lecturer to understand if the student can effectively summarize his achievements, in particular describing in his own words the task to be accomplished, how he will accomplish it, and lastly the interpretation and discussion of the results. One challenge comes obviously from writing in a foreign language which is not their mother tongue for most of the students. Also, often the structure of the document does not follow a very systematic and rational flow.
The writing support our student needs is being able to write cohesively in a well-structured manner so that both the peers and the supervisors are able to understand what they've written.
Students always ask us for reference assignments, exam papers and past homework questions. Building a database with all this material would be very useful for the student, especially highlighting exceptional work done by their peers and explaining them why this work is so exceptional.
The support provided by the Literacy Project has been very relevant for our students. They have helped to provide online support, and they've helped to provide templates for the report writings. The online support has been great because our students have a very full timetable, so it's very difficult to find a time slot that many students can get together. So with the online support, the students are able to get help when and whenever they're needed.
The work that I've seen so far looks very promising and definitely relevant.
Literacy Project has been great for our students. One way they can improve it is to integrate the Literacy Project with our curriculum. This is not an easy task because it requires coordination between various departments.
This video has introduced a number of materials for writing disciplinary assignments in engineering. These include genre guides, checklists, and interactive activities. The genre guide gives the different purposes of the assignments, instructions on how to plan and organize your writing, and to develop its different sections. There is also a checklist to remind you of the requirements and help you check that you have covered all the points of content, written accurately and in the required style. The materials also include some interactive activities to help you focus on the grammar and style that you need to use. For example, there are activities on organization, hedging and referencing, to name a few. The Literacy in the Disciplines website offers useful tools for teachers as well. If you are a discipline teacher, you can make use of the feedback generator with suggested comments to give genre-specific feedback on your students' assignments. This will save you valuable time. Another tool, the Assignment Instructions Generator, will help you develop comprehensive writing instructions for your assignments that will result in well-written student work. We wish you a rewarding experience using the Literacy in the Disciplines website. We look forward to your feedback.